Oh, you know what? Do you have glasses?
Yeah, I can get you.
Yeah, we'd love to see a menu. See what I did there?
Yeah, now while you're getting your glasses and getting situated, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
If there's anything you want to plug, go ahead, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Nice to meet you, dude.
I gotta leave in like a minute. Is that a problem?
No, that's what I'm saying, plug your shit.
All right. All right, you might want to change your outfit while you're in there.
I will. This was from the other day. Excuse me.
Alvin, I did it. I murdered all those people. You know, like that. So, Alvin, what do you, any advice? Oh, really? No talking. Don't you walk away from me? Yeah, because there's whiskey. You don't have like clear glasses.
That's all we have now.
Oh, you got another one?
Yeah, he's got.
Okay,
he already grabbed
great.
one.
Great.
All right. This is gonna be good, dude.
This is gonna be great. Oh my gosh. Does your dog bite?
That's not my dog.
No, he does not bite.
Oh wow.
Now he
Really
does good.
loosen up. Ooh, he's getting all comfy now. He's like, oh yeah.
So Jim, do you feel that it's best for Father Time? How long does a Father Time whiskey take to kick in compared to the competing brands of whiskey?
Oh, that's a interesting measuring stick.
Come, my love.
It's not.
Angle down now.
It's not really like that. It's. I want. Father Time bourbon is measured on its smoothness. There's you know, like if you drink whiskey or you enjoy, it really comes down to it's a certain quality that it's not bad. You know what I mean? Like we've all, I don't know, you
Jim,
know, yeah.
Asking how long it takes to kick in.
Kick
I'm not
in.
asking for
It's
a
not an
science lesson.
edible. It's liquor.
I'm not much of a drinker.
Do you ask people like, hey, how long does it take for this beer to kick in?
I asked for so I drank a caffeinated drink. Shout out to Magic Mind, and it takes me about 15 minutes.
What
for
do
it to
you?
kick in.
What's Magic Mind? Is that one of your sponsors?
I found out about them when they started
Is it
sponsoring
like
me.
Blue Chew or
It doesn't get me hard.
Magic Mind?
Either does necessarily Viagra. I took a Viagra years ago.
Right.
It's a long story, and maybe we'll get into it.
Sex party.
It didn't. No, it just made possible sex with at the time, this was the most beautiful woman that has ever been wanting to have sex with me, and I was intimidated, and I wasn't able to. I avoided even having her feel my penis. Anyway, the next time we hooked up, I'm like, oh no, I felt like I was too in my head. So I took a Viagra and I didn't get hard. I later found out that Viagras don't get you hard, they keep you hard. You still have to be sexually stimulated. And I was too nervous to be sexually stimulated. But it takes about 45 minutes to kick in, I think.
That's so interesting. I'm such a man, I've never needed assistance.
Interesting. I guess that's why they don't have a bourbon dick. It's just whiskey dick?
It is whiskey dick. Or the Irish curse. I think it's called the Irish curse, too.
You've never gone soft? Stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans. Brilliant. All right, let me pitch you the way this could go. Go to theperfectjean.nyc and get 15% off your first order.
Free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code TYSO15.
at checkout. Cool. And then I'll say that's, and you say 15% off. I'll say for, you say new. I'll say customers, you say at. I'll say theperfectgene.nyc with, then you say pro,
code.
just say pro. I'll say mo. Together we'll say code. And then you, one letter at a time?
T.
Y. TYSO 15. And then you say that last line, but look to camera and point.
Tell them we sent you. Do it.
Yeah, you get it? So we'll just do that.
This podcast is sponsored by Squarespace.
Hi, Iris, have you ever been to rickglassman.com?
Every day after school.
Well, did you know that my website is sponsored by Squarespace? You could check out squarespace.com/TYSO for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code TYSO to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
That's code TYSO.
Yep, to save 10% off
First purchase.
of a website or domain. Ricky's on the loose. My last stand-up tour date of the year is in Las Vegas at Wise Guys Comedy Club in Times Square this December 12th and 13th.
Don't miss that show. It's going to be hot.
January 9, 10, and 11.
We're in the desert, Phoenix, Arizona.
February 7th.
We're going to San Francisco Super Bowl weekend.
If you're going to be there for the Super Bowl Sunday, I'll be doing 2 shows at Cobb's on Saturday the 7th, March 26th through 29th.
Come visit us in Houston, Texas.
May 1st and 2nd, I'm going to be in right here, Cleveland,
Cleveland,
Ohio. And the next weekend, which I think is 7 through 9, I'm going to be in Dallas, Texas. Make sure to go to punchup.live/Rick Glassman to get tickets to my show and sign up for my email list. I'm adding more dates. And if you want to find out when I'm coming to your city, go to punchup.live/Rick Glassman because it's just /follow to sign up for my email list. I'm hearing these noises and it's disgusting. I'm begging you, okay? I'm begging you. Stop, because it's just a gross sound. Okay. To find out when I'm coming within 50 miles of your city, which if my dad's there, you'll hear him if he's within 8 miles of your city because the way he chews, and get rid of my noises for that. Ricky's on the loose. Okay? What are you, 59?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm 59. But
Happy birthday, by the way.
I look 58.
I
right?
think you look 60.
Maybe 60, early, like 61 month.
Yeah, like you turned 60 this year.
I do turn 60 this year.
No, you don't.
I do.
I did my research, dude.
I do.
You turn 60 next year.
No, this year.
Your birthday is July.
Yeah, it is.
July has already passed.
So can like, first of all, you looked up my birth date. I don't know if we can call that research. What other research did you do on me? Did you watch Live at Old Forester?
Of course I watched it.
The Bourbon set.
The Bourbon set. That's why we're here. And I thought it was fantastic. And can I say something?
Yeah.
We already know this. You're a joke machine, my friend.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're a joke machine. And I learned, or I remembered, or I just noticed that you'll make jokes that are very dishonest.
Yeah.
But you don't want to get off track. Like you make like I don't remember, but you did it a few times. You make a joke that's ridiculous, but then you don't want that to derail the set. So you go, no, I'm just joking. And then you do the thing. It's a very quick aside.
Oh, thanks.
You've been doing this for a while.
Well, yeah, no, I think that's also a tool of the inside voice when you can comment on the joke because you can, gain an additional perspective on a subject matter.
The inside voice, I think of it as a parenthetical. You said it a little different like that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of voices in all of our heads. You know what I mean? At least there are in mine.
How long does it take for one of your, if you want to change voices, how long does it take for that to kick in?
Oh, they're swimming up there right now, right? And it's all about, I think we conventionally know it as anxiety, right?
Well, I think
inner
you're
monologue.
Irish?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
Irish.
the Irish and the Jews handle their anxiety different.
Right.
Yours comes from, family trauma?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of mental illness on the island.
Is this your pops?
Ireland? That is my grandfather.
That's your grandfather.
But there's, so like that was the whole idea behind this. When I got into bourbon and whiskey, it occurred at the same time when all my kids were becoming teenagers, which flipped my perspective towards my father and made me kind of have this epiphany about, maybe he was right. You know what I mean?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but having kids isn't the reason you drink, but it is the reason you get drunk. Is that fair to
Yes,
say?
that is. Yes.
And if you want more jokes like that, head to
Jim Gaff.
youtube.com/chickencock and find out, what is the name of this set again?
It's live at Old Forester, the Bourbon Set.
So you told
And
me.
it's just kind of like a passion project. Like, I don't want people to think that, I intentionally didn't go to a big streamer because this is, you don't really drink. Half the comedians, if they did drink, they know half of them no longer drink. So it's a very niche audience that would be interested in this. So this was all kind of.
I think you're selling. I think you're warning people.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Well,
because because you pitched this to me the same way, almost like you're saying, "I'm sorry if you don't drink whiskey."
Well, some of it is, I think, I've been doing it so long that.
What, comedy or this?
Yeah, comedy or this podcast. It feels.
No,
like
I meant
a long
do you
time.
mean bits about bourbon?
No, doing stand up, and I have always kind of I haven't aspired. But it's usually resulted where the material will work for a wide swath of people, meaning it's accessible, approachable to a lot of people. And I worry that talking about whiskey for 40 minutes might not be accessible to everyone.
Do you think using words like swath is as
I think
people think?
That's me really kind of pulling out. I don't know if that's a $2 word, but that's like a $1.50 word.
Shall we have a hit?
Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
It's not a hit. How long have you been human? Like
I only do weed. I don't drink.
So how often do you smoke weed? A lot.
I don't smoke. I just do edibles.
You just do edibles.
Just do edibles. But 3
Are
days
you
a week.
like somebody who's kind of always a little bit high?
Yeah.
It seemed like a dishonest answer. You're like, no.
Interesting that your instincts are when somebody thinks about the question, you feel that they're being dishonest as opposed to having a stock answer ready.
That's true. That's true. So 3 times a week. So that means 5 times a week. Like whenever, like the joke is like when someone's like, I have like a couple beers a night. You're like, all right, they have 5 beers a night.
Yeah.
I always kind of double it.
Because drinkers lie.
But pot smokers don't?
Never.
Is that's part of the pot smoker, ideology is to never be dishonest about the amount.
There's an energy about pot smokers. Now,
there's Doug Benson who's stoned all the time, and then but a pot smoker will never lie.
It's not that a pot smoker will never lie, and yes, I just made this up, but now that I'm trying to validate it, I do think I could find some truth in the fact of the energy of drinkers is, and this is a blanketed statement, but it's more depressive than the energy of a weed smoker that is more like just wanting to chill out. And a lot of times, if you're just chill, you don't have the need to be dishonest, Like, I think when you're chill, there's more of a lack of shame than when you're like, I don't want to admit this.
It's interesting because my evolution with drinking, and obviously I had material initially in my first comedy special, Comedy Central thing, where I talked about the fact that I don't drink, and people are always like, "You don't drink? Why? Why don't you drink?" And so like I never thought that I would be a whiskey drinker. I thought, okay, I'll do this to get buzzed. But here's the thing: is like I think, and I was a beer drinker. Some of it is kind of as a way to kind of monitor my consumption, but beer makes me feel bloated. And whiskey doesn't. I think pot it's in a way, I think it's antisocial. If you're with good buddies, maybe that's okay. But otherwise, I feel like there is, like they always talk about like, Americans aren't drinking alcohol anymore. They're only doing weed.
Who's they?
They meaning the Jews. No, I don't know who's they.
Well, you can't. You're sourcing somebody.
There was a Gallup poll that alcohol consumption is down dramatically.
Well, they were just horsing around.
And no, and so so stupid. You have to have children because there's a lot of dad joke in you.
I can't wait.
There's a lot of dad joke in you.
And I'd love to put a lot of dad joke in a beautiful, kind, smart woman who could then have this child with me or children.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm almost 30 and it's getting anxious.
You're going to be fine.
Thank you.
And by the way, it's like there's plenty of time. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I know that like
You might even say there's
I know you're ovulating.
father
You know what I mean?
time.
There's father time.
Precocious batch. Am I reading that right? Is that precocious? Or is that precocious?
Let me
What's
see.
this word? I don't read many bottles.
Raised with
Well, what's the P word?
precious batch.
Bro, I
Are
was
you
being serious.
dyslexic?
No, I'm just, I have my strengths and
Oh,
weaknesses.
that's interesting. I believe I have an undiagnosed learning disability.
Well,
And that's my way of saying you do too.
I was in the special classes. Then then I had to go to the special school.
Really?
And I don't mean the special school for the virtuoso pianists.
And so, like, you have a learning disability. I think all comedians are like on the spectrum and a little bit wonky.
I don't. Whatever I have or don't have, I don't think was connected to me having to go to PEP, which is positive education program for the people that troublemakers.
Were you a troublemaker?
That's the thing. I threw a book in the air and it landed on a teacher. I honestly did not mean to hit the teacher, but why was I throwing the book in the air? And there was a lot of other things I don't want to get into now. I'm excited to meet you and have you on here.
And that teacher died. I mean, that book was a Torah. It was like one of those big, heavy books. And it smushed this teacher who was 90 years old. Like, you rephrase this. It was a metal book filled with knives.
Is a Torah a book?
I don't know.
It's a scroll.
I don't know. Do I look Jewish? I don't know.
Well, you're apparently according all of their studies.
You know what?
How long is this going to take to kick in? Because I think we should have a sip. Now, each person drinks one of these. How much is this?
All right, so do you know how, like, there's levels of alcohol percentage?
Yes.
This is relatively
Correct me if
low
I'm
proof.
wrong, but a bourbon is technically 51% corn and 49% BS. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's half true.
So, like, here, let's try this. So
make sure you check out his special on YouTube at youtube.com/Jim Gaffigan and leave a comment to let him know how
accessible and approachable it is.
No, more so like how big Rick Glassman is in the podcast game.
I mean, all right, here. So,
well, I'll use this one because I rinsed it. They said they were washed, but
you don't
take that at face value.
You don't trust them. Wow.
It's not that I don't trust their intention. It's that I don't trust the people's execution.
Okay, here. So we're just gonna. I don't want.
Tell me if I'm doing this right. Here's my impression of a guy who drinks bourbon.
All right, so here, you want to know how to drink it? First of all, all right. You smell it first.
Yeah.
And you smell with your mouth open, okay? Because that's part of the experience. Now I'm turning into this annoying nerd because I think it's just kind of like if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. But like understand also the first sip, your palate is not used to alcohol. So your first sip, don't judge that. So like let's just take a quick sip.
Get it out of the way.
All right, get that out of the way. Okay, just swallow it. Okay. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. Now your palate is adjusting. It's spicy, right? Mm-hmm. But it's also smooth. Just agree. All right, so now this is the real test. Some people think the second or the third. What if I'm just making all this up? Some people think it's the 23rd and then you're like throwing up. Some people think after you throw up, the best sip is then. All right, so smell, because do you like the smell?
I'll tell you something. It's making me want to get into fights with people.
No, it's not like that.
It does smell. There's a little orange in there.
Yeah. And you know what's amazing about whiskey? Is all the flavor. I mean, so some of the flavor comes from the grain, but most of
that
it
is smooth.
Yes. And some of that is the
Hops?
no, that comes from the wood. So those barrels, that charred oak barrel is where all the flavor comes from. So like this would be, you know how vodka is clear? Before it's put in the barrel, it doesn't have any color. Anyway, I should teach bourbon at a university.
This is making me feel like I'm out on the country.
Right?
Baby, lock them
By the
doors
way-
and turn the lights down low. Get the music on the soft and
Yeah, no, I
slow.
love that song. That guy's got the deepest voice
Josh
ever.
Turner.
Josh Turner.
So how much does a bottle of this cost? My guess is it's 125, 150 bucks.
It is. And which is not cheap. But like this is a very small batch. But this is not that. This should be 92.4. Yeah,
92.40.
No, 92.4 proof. So like 92.4 proof is approachable, meaning it's accessible. Whereas I prefer a higher proof, like 120 or 130. I have this.
Why can we go above 100? Shouldn't 100 be the top?
It's some of it. I don't understand it. Some of it is the ABV alcohol per thing, and
Kinda
then
like
they double
Fahrenheit
it.
instead of Celsius.
But above 140 is called hazmat.
What is like what's that? Everclear? Is that what it's called, or
Yeah.
What is that proof?
I think that's like 160.
What are we doing at that point? It's like I like spicy because it's fun and I like the taste, but I don't want to have something that hurts me.
Right.
So why are we this 92.4, which sounds like a radio station?
Yes.
It feels
92.4
approachable.
Father Time. But no, it's and if it gets too high, the reason it's called hazmat because you can't take it on a plane because it's flammable. Isn't that interesting? It's not
Yes.
hazardous waste. I think that's some of the storytelling.
Hazardous waste maybe is what happens, isn't it? If you have too much of this, don't you end up having whiskey shits? Isn't that a thing?
You know, the thing is, yeah, I mean, you can get pretty messed up on it. But what is so good about bourbon is
Clears the
you have
sinuses.
two. Yeah. And there was a time when they thought this was medicinal.
Medicine.
Isn't that insane?
I learned a lot from watching your special.
Right.
Oh, you don't want to call it a special.
No,
You're
it's
too scared
it's
to call it a special. Sorry, I'm putting this on. I'm not even putting on the streamers because I'm such a
bourbon
loser.
Set. It's just
Directed
a
by
set.
the talented Mike Lavin,
That's right.
the homeless pimp
The homeless
himself.
pimp. And yeah, so it's self-assignment. As you know, all comedy is
All of it's self-assignment. my
self-assignment,
friend.
right? No one says, "Hey, I mean, people say you're funny, you should be a comedian," but
Thank
like
you.
that last step to go on stage is a self-assignment. You know, that first time you went on stage, you know.
Yeah, but I don't even mean it that spiritually. I'm just saying everything you're doing because you want to talk about that thing.
Yeah.
People, if somebody does a set all about being a father, they're not
Yes.
gonna be like, I'm not going to the streamers. It's just for people who are fathers. You know, you're doing a thing, and you got the background, you got the jokes.
Yeah. No, it was fun. And it is, you know, the weird thing is you bring up that father aspect, but when I started talking about my kids in my stand-up, I was very mindful to not talk about it too much. This is initially, I've been doing stand-up 500 years, but like I remember when I started stand-up, I would watch comedians and they would discuss their wives or their husband or their children, and I'd be like, I can't get a date. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't you ever feel that way sometimes when you watch a comedian? You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I do think that, some of the task is I'm not trying to divide the audience or do a show for just everyone. I want to bring together people. I want to save the world.
What about wanting to bring together people without you feeling the need to make a joke out of the corniness of it? What about that is true?
I think that is pretty true. I don't like us and them stuff. I think we have a lot more in common than what.
Well, there's a lot in
divides us.
between us and them and uniting everybody. For example, talking about whiskey or being a parent. Being a parent isn't saying it's the dads versus the non-dads. It's just you talking about something that is specific to you that might not be as relatable to everybody else. But I don't think that's something to avoid.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that there's.
You said that though. That's what everyone is saying.
All right, I'm guilty. All right, fine.
Just
I
take
quit,
the loss,
I'll quit
man.
comedy.
Well,
fine.
No, it's not that
Jesus,
deep. It's just
all
admit
right,
when you're an
fine.
asshole.
Okay, fine.
This stuff, man, I'll tell you, it's making me feel like a man.
Right? It
Yeah.
does. That's another one. You see,
It's
now
ki-
you're
it's-
just going to bring
it's-
up all
it's
the
kinda like
premises.
It's kind of like bourbon is kind of like the man's Shania Twain song.
You can't give away my punchlines.
Whatever, man.
So, all right. So
Then
let's
they say that
let's
dude, I think I'm
talk.
drunk.
Now you know that. Let's talk about you.
I really am. I really already it's kicked. I'm so sensitive with anything, even
Right.
weed, which I do all the time. I take 5 milligrams and it gets me high.
Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely.
So, but like I really, the last time I drank and the only time I really drink like this kind of stuff was
Yeah.
when I did Santino's. Are you friends with Andrew Santino?
yeah. I mean, well, I love him as I love all comedians. You know what I mean? I've done.
I don't know what you mean.
I've done
It
his
sounds
podcast.
like you're running for
He
president.
seems like a good egg. You know what I mean? I've met him twice.
Speaking of
You know
Good
what I
Egg,
mean?
we met twice before
Yes.
today, and the second time we met was at the Good Egg show the other day.
Yeah,
But I had a hit of that,
yeah.
and within a few minutes, I'm like, I almost understand the want to drink. I just don't have it,
No, well, I think that's good. But
and
you
I
know,
hate
things,
being around drunk people.
things evolve. Like I said, I never thought I would be a whiskey drinker. I never thought I'd have 5 kids. It's
How many
like,
kids do you have?
I have 5 kids. So like like all these expectations or realities that we exist in can shift pretty dramatically quickly.
Bruce Lee says you want to be like water.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
That meaning just you flow through things.
Oh, I thought about. Maybe I think of it
You get frozen when it's cold out. What
boils
what's
when
like
it's hot.
water? You,
Like,
you turn into vapor when you're really.
You move like the things. You
Yeah.
know, if you're stuck in a cup, if you're water and you're stuck in a cup, you're bound by the ridges of the world that is surrounding you. But if you allow yourself to be the water and not to be the water in the cup, things evolve and change, and it's
Absolutely.
fluid. That's what I think. From it.
I think that applies to comedy. I think comedy is ever evolving, and so that's why there are comedians that are great in certain decades, and that's why the fact that a comedian can be relevant over 4 decades is really impressive. Someone like
Congratulations.
Seinfeld, huh?
Congratulations.
No, well, I'm not talking about myself.
I'm not either. I'm saying because you're friends with Jerry.
Yeah, congratulations that I'm friends with Jerry.
You know,
he said he doesn't like you. Is that bad? No,
I
he's
would
never.
love if he even spoke about me. Dude, we met, and I'm saying this to the
Yeah.
audience, not to
Yeah.
you, because maybe you remember, but we met at Gotham maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was about to go up, and you and Jerry came in, then you went up, and then Jerry went up, and then I went up, and that was so, it's still like, there's a novelty of going up after somebody. It just exists. You know, like
Absolutely.
that you're such a fan of. And then Jerry had to go up after you, but I got to go 2 after you.
Yeah.
And then I had a really good set,
Right.
and you guys had left, but you messaged me and you're like, "Hey, sorry I couldn't stay for your set." And I
Yeah.
felt so fucking cool that like I've just
Yeah.
been a fan of yours for a while.
Well, I've loved your podcast. You know,
I was wondering
saw
why
those
you
clips.
even messaged me. You
'Cause
saw the podcast
I've seen clips of the
Got it.
podcast, and I've seen some stuff, and really funny, really kind of different and unique, and I love Todd Glass and kind of the playful aspects.
We love Todd Glass.
You have a spirit of Todd Glass, so I'm pro all those people. You know what I mean? That are kind of silly and
Do you have another one? Should I have another little hit?
yeah. You should have another one,
It's early in the day.
right? Yeah. All right. It's like I don't want you to because I know
I didn't even
you're-
have a full drink. You didn't even pour me a drink, right?
Well, the thing is you sip whiskey. You don't drink it like a beer.
But what I mean by that is an ounce is considered a drink.
Yes.
So I'm probably now, with what you gave me and what this is probably, now I'm at an ounce total?
Yeah, probably.
So I'm having a drink.
Yeah, and they call it a pour.
Yes.
A pour, which is, I think, is kind of weird.
I'm trying to not say your punchlines now as
No,
you're saying
that's
them,
all
but they
right.
just keep coming up.
What, besides me, who's been your favorite guest on the podcast?
Ooh, I mean, that's like asking what my favorite movie is or who my favorite guest is.
Yeah.
I can't tell you a
That's
favorite.
what I'm asking is.
Yeah, I can't tell you a favorite, but in no particular order, and I might be leaving out people who I enjoy
Yeah.
even more. And this is not a political answer, it's just what's coming to me right now.
Yeah.
I love playing so much,
Yeah.
and who do I play with? Lisa Gilroy,
Yeah.
Andrew Santino.
Yeah.
I have the Best Friends Club thing where when I have my two buddies, Brent Moore and Adam Ray, on together.
yeah.
I don't
And
know.
how did you get to know your comedy world?
My what
your
world?
comedy world of where'd you start? You're from Cleveland.
As I started there.
You started in Cleveland, then you went to LA.
I went to LA, and then I was doing stand-up sometimes, but I was really doing improv. I really wanted to get into acting and improv. I
Yes.
like the teams. I like the team thing.
Yeah.
And it was tough to get on stage at doing improv shows because I went to UCB for classes.
Yeah.
I went to Groundlings. I'm one of 5 people who's blacklisted from the Groundlings
That's an accomplishment.
just from the audition process.
And so you auditioned and they were like, you should never come
Before
back.
the audition, it's a long story. I don't need to get into too much, but basically, I was talking to someone behind me while they were taking roll call.
Yeah.
And the guy said, you two out. They kicked us out. And I was like, oh, I really wanted to be in Groundlings, but it wasn't that deep. I was like, oh, and then we were walking out. He's like, aren't you glad those people aren't going to be in your class? I guess we were just being annoying or whatever.
Right.
At an improv audition. So then
and the 2 people that were kicked out were Jewish, and
the other one
everyone else
wasn't, I don't
was
think.
not.
I don't know if
It was, and when you left, he said, got rid of them. Is that true?
I don't want to
So
create.
what you're saying is the Groundlings
I don't want to create that.
anti-Semitic.
I don't want to create that because
Right.
I don't believe that's the case, and I think it's important to not make those kinds of jokes. That's your brand. I like to
know.
unite people
You like
instead
to
of
bring
us
people
versus them.
together. You like to bring
Yeah.
people together. And but
but
that's
let me finish this
interesting.
real
You don't
quick.
seem like a troublemaker.
Well, I did go to PEP,
Yeah.
and I then signed up again in a different name, and I auditioned, and you have to audition. They're like, all right, great, you get to go to class, and then I gave them my credit card. It had my name on it. They must have had that saved. It was over a year later, and they said, hey, we see that you were not supposed, blah, 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 you can't ever audition for this again. And I have my friend Tony Cavallero, who was part of the main company for a while. He asked about it, and he goes, yeah, there was I saw there was a list of 5 names, and you're one of them. Look at me now.
And look at you now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, really, you've really kind of stuck it to him.
But it was tough to get on stage doing improv. It was easy to go on stage doing stand-up. So I'm like,
Right.
I just want to get on stage. I want to write stuff.
So you don't care about stand-up. It's not your passion.
When I first got into it, it wasn't, I didn't know if it
was
was,
about
honestly.
stage time.
It was about creating stuff, whether it's
Yeah.
on camera, on stage, alone with other people. It was just it was like, I have all these ideas and I want to try them.
Yes, yes.
And then I still didn't fall in love with stand-up I did it because I thought I would be good at it one day. And I honestly feel like I've been doing this since 2007. I think I got good at it 3 years ago. And I've been loving it now.
Can I just say, as someone who's seen your stand-up, you haven't gotten good.
You haven't
at
seen
it.
my stand-up.
I haven't seen.
haven't?
I haven't. And some of that is because I'm afraid that I'm going to fall in love.
The perfect gene.
Look at those. Look at that gene. Let's see that. 'Cause the Glassmans are infamous for having no ass. Turn around. Not great, but there's a little bump. Mom, what do you think of these jeans?
Dynamite!
Dad, have a seat.
I can't even feel them. They're
They're
so
nice, right?
comfortable. I've worn jeans for a long time, and we've had these jeans for, 6 or 8 weeks since I did our last commercial, and I don't take them off. They're
It's a denim blend.
They're denim
soft like a
sweat
sweat.
soft,
They're like a
right.
sweat. Yeah, that's what's so great about the perfect jean. Not only are these the perfect jeans, but Dad, you have pretty perfect jeans too.
and I share them with you.
Yes, just like in that controversy with Sydney Sweeney because of her huge tits, or she wants everyone to be white. I don't know, but I'm pro Sydney Sweeney. Let me just say this for a second, okay? Just because you have massive tits doesn't mean that you need to be a massive asshole to her, right, Dad? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm not on the Sydney Sweeney bandwagon of yet. I'm still talking how perfect these goddamn jeans are.
Okay.
All right? And I'm sure they look great on her, top or bottoms. By the way,
Oh, it's funny that you bring that up.
Yes.
Because the perfect jean isn't just about the perfect jean, is it, Dad?
no, not any longer.
If you had to pick a material that they're made out of 100%, what would you say would be best case?
Cotton.
And for a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus
free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges if you use promo code TYSO15. The perfect jean. It has stretch just as much as your elastic waist, okay? And it's part of the jean. This is the perfect jean. Did you throw away my Jell-O? Before we started shooting this spot, my wife accused Ricky of throwing out her Jell-O.
Because we have 2 identical bowls, and I used one of them to defrost the dog food.
She did it to me the other day when I couldn't find
For
the
the paper towels.
3 days later, she's walking at me like I committed a darn crime. Excuse me.
But at the end of the day, it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus
Free freight, free exchanges, and free returns.
when you use code TYSO15 at checkout.
Tell them where you heard it, by the way. Tell them where you heard it.
That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code TYSO15. After your purchase, they'll ask where you heard about us. Please let them know.
Tell them us.
And listen, this is what it says here. Let's bleep this first word, but look at that.
It says F***K, your khakis,
And get the perfect jean.
Do it.
This episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Now, Iris, you said you go to my website every day after school. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
It's really beautiful. It seems like it was really hard to make.
What do you mean? Why does it look like it was hard to make?
Well, just all of the pictures and the way it's organized.
So you like the layout of what? Just the store? Or do you like all the pages?
I'm all about the tour dates, bro.
You like my tour dates. Very cool. Are you old enough to get into one of my shows?
Rick, I'm 47.
All right. What do you know about Squarespace?
I know it's an all-in-one website platform.
Designed to help you stand out and succeed online. So Squarespace is sponsoring this episode, but truly, I've been using them for years, way before they were a sponsor of this podcast. I looked at different places, and I don't know, I just landed on Squarespace.
I bet it cost an arm and a leg.
You'd be surprised, Iris. Are you only saying that because you recently signed up for a website platform that cost a lot of money?
Let's just say it cost me more than this leg. Inflation is killing me.
Squarespace makes it easy to showcase your expertise.
And engage clients with video content on your website.
Go to squarespace.com/TYSO for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch,
Use offer code TYSO.
that's TYSO to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
That's squarespace.com/TYSO.
And when you're ready to launch, use offer code
TYSO.
TYSO, that's right, to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
No, but like it is weird. You know, I've been doing stand-up so long. When I started, the microphones were wooden. So stupid.
You're from Illinois, right?
That's kind of personal, but yeah.
Yeah, I
You know
looked
what
that
I mean?
up.
You know, you're from Ohio, Illinois. I know there's the rivalry, right?
No, I'm not us versus them.
You're not like that.
No.
But all right, so you and Adam and Brent you met in LA at the store or where?
I'll answer this and we can continue this conversation, but based on your energy, I feel like you're making fun of interviews.
Really?
So you and Adam would...
No. I'm trying. This is just, you know what? I'll be honest.
Yeah, don't try. Let's just be here, man.
I should breathe, right?
Why don't you have... You know what? Let me give you a swindle.
It is a swindle.
Let me give you a swindle more.
A swindle.
Let me
I
give you
believe
another
the term
pour.
is. What if swindle took off? If people were like, you know where swindle actually started? Is it true that the name of this podcast is "You Can Take Your Shoes Off"? Right?
It's take your shoes off.
Take your shoes off. Oh, I thought it was "You Can Take." I was going to do a joke about that.
Well, do it again. Say it again. Ask me again.
Is it true that this podcast is named "You Can Take Your Shoes Off"?
YCTYSO.
But it used to be "You Can Take Your Shoes Off," but we'd prefer you don't.
Was it worth it?
I don't think it was worth it, but
that's part. Like, it's important for people to see this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, even Jim Gaffigan
right.
could say something that wasn't worth it.
I don't know.
How much money has Hot Pockets made you?
I would say $10.
Come on.
No.
I mean, you've done a Hot Pockets commercial.
No, I haven't.
That's a fucking
I turned
insane.
it down. I turned it down.
Why?
Because
It wasn't enough money.
it was more about I don't want to be. I don't want to be known for one bit. But if I died right now, it would be Hot Pocket. Like if it was on the daily.
If you died in
basis,
30
it'd be-
years, that's what it would be.
I don't think
Get your
so.
cash. What do you
I
think
think
you're
it's-
going to be in 30 years if people are going
I'm
to
going
say
to be known
whiskey?
as the guy who did the bourbon set
I mean-
live from Old Forester.
So
the
go to
bourbon set.
youtube.com/Jim Gaffigan and let them know Rick Glassman sent you.
But the Hot Pocket thing, it's a blessing and a curse and all this.
You go like this. Remember this? You go like, Hot Pockets. And people are just like, Jim Gaffigan, you know, and it fucking made
It's
your
so
fucking
bizarre.
career, dude. You are
It's-
nothing. Sorry, I'm just drunk. You are a fucking loser.
Hey,
Sorry, man, it's the whiskey.
it's the whiskey talking.
And I'm soft right
This
now.
may be the whiskey talking. But yeah, no,
Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets,
Will you do the Hot Pocket bit for the people that don't know it?
no,
Come on, dude.
No.
I'll suck your dick.
not interested.
I won't suck your dick.
Still not interested. But there is something you want to be. You want to be known as multifaceted.
Yes, you want to be fluid.
Like I love
wanna
acting,
evolve.
but it's weird because we work in the perception industry, and you have in some ways, you have no control over how you're perceived. So
And always.
right, but particularly in the entertainment industry, some of it is just there. I think the entertainment industry is relatively risk averse, and so I have
here.
been doing acting. I'm talking to them, but I've been doing acting for a long time. Yet people are like comedian Jim Gaffigan. I'm like I've probably been in more movies than a lot of actors, but the perception.
Very cool.
The perception is that all I do is tell
It's
Hot
casting,
Pocket
baby.
jokes.
I've been doing stand-up since 2008. People think I'm a podcaster because I haven't put out any stand-up stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I first had my Beyond the Pale special come out, there was a review, or there was a lineup in USA Today where they used to do that. I don't know if they do that anymore. And there was a little blurb, and it said, "Sitcom actor Jim Gaffigan."
That was the last time you were called an actor.
That's
first.
the last time I was called an actor. And then Beyond the Pale and Hot Pockets did very well. And but yeah, no, I want to be known as more than one bit.
May I challenge you
Yes.
in a way that's going to be annoying and it's going to be
Yeah.
therapy talk? What you want to be known for? That energy of spending what you want to be
Yeah.
known for, that is completely out of your control.
Yeah.
What value does even considering that stuff offer you, as opposed to just doing what you do and it's received the way it is?
I can appreciate what you're saying, but I think that you have to understand the environment. You have to listen to what people are hearing. That's the true beauty of stand-up is we all have our perceptions of ourselves. And then when we go on stage, first couple of years, you're like, oh, I didn't realize I even came across like that.
Yes.
Which is being self-aware, but like there is something, like I was an athlete in high school and college, not like a great athlete, but like I'm not perceived as an athlete, which is very weird, in some ways, but like some of that, I didn't learn that until I got on stage.
Right. You projected that people saw you the way you see you.
Yeah, like I saw, like when I was in Indiana, and I was like, I got to get the hell out of here. I'm gonna go to New York. That's where I belong. And then when I got to New York, people were like, "You are the most Midwestern guy in the world," and I was like, "Am I?" And now I'm very aware that I'm very Midwestern.
Yeah, there's a Venn diagram of how you're perceived and how you want to be perceived. And
Jordan Peterson understands those things.
but once you understand how you're being perceived, then you don't make you could make the choice to then try and change that. I'm going to do more jokes about being an athlete, but like even the idea of like, oh, I'm just talking about whiskey, or I don't want to talk too much about being a dad or whatever. It's like, at least for me, because it's so hard for me to know how I'm being received unless I believe the person who feels safe enough to tell me the answer.
Yeah.
But like, it's not about who I am.
Yeah.
It's about it's about my point of view. It's about what I'm thinking about. And whether you see that as connected to me or I'm just a vessel for somebody talking about something that you connect to or you don't, like, I don't want to not talk about something because what if they think this? You know?
No, I understand that. I totally understand that. And some of it is, I don't want you to think that, it's interesting because in a way we're talking about self-censorship. And that's not my point. My point is being aware of things can guide you. And so, like, me talking about, hey, this is a bourbon set, this is not a comedy special, is understanding or having the awareness that if I educate people that this is a passion project, I can possibly have some influence over their expectations.
Yeah,
surrounding
that's what I
it.
was thinking. You're setting
like,
expectations.
It's you don't have control over the perception, but you can have control over perception.
But that's you talking about the piece.
Yes.
I'm saying the piece in its vacuum.
Yes.
You could say, and you even do, but you could, like, up top, just so you know, if you're not into whiskey,
Yeah.
take a hike.
Yeah.
With Kevin Nealon. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think I want to change subjects because I could get deep into this stuff, and I don't think it's that. I don't want to be stubborn.
Here's what we can talk about this because maybe this will prompt you. I think that there is self-awareness, approaching things with humility is really important.
Thank you.
And so I think that and that's not to say, I admire people that have kind of this undaunted confidence. By the way, vulnerability, I think, is really important what people bond with comedians. And I think you have a lot of vulnerability. And what I'm saying is you're weak. No, but I think vulnerability is a key element to stand-up comedy. Richard Pryor, brilliant. But like people really, I think they bonded with that sense of vulnerability. And it's not a universal thing. Like, look, Chris Rock and Jerry Seinfeld don't reek of vulnerability, but there's exceptions to everything. I think the vulnerability of like, I'm trying to think of like, or the humility of like even, or humbleness of Nate Bargatze is pretty important. Like, I think Daniel's an exception to that. Anthony Jeselnik's an exception to that. I think Bill Burr's an exception to that.
I've noticed that all the examples you've given are either white comedians or black comedians.
Right.
Also male comedians.
Right.
Could you tell me any of your favorite female comedians of color that you love?
Yeah, Wanda Sykes. Very, but she doesn't reek of vulnerability. But I think Sarah communicates a lot of vulnerability.
Interesting that you assume that I know who Sarah is by her first name, but Wanda,
Right.
you would think I was thinking of a different Wanda. I would argue that there's more Sarahs than Silverman than there are Wandas than Sykes.
That's some of, being as Aryan looking as me. People have to be like, can we look at his search history?
What do you mean? I don't get what you're
I used to have this joke about like being so white looking. I don't know if I ever did it as a joke, but like when I was, in college, I took African American literature, and you were assigned an English class, and you had no control over what that class was. And I was placed in African American literature, and I was like, okay, this is great. I know there's some great African American literature, and I got in, and half the room was white people, and half of it was black people. And then, like, the next week, most of the white people left. They're like, I'm not doing this. And
you stayed.
And I stayed because I'm brave. No, but the great irony is a lot of African-American literature, they use, literary devices where they talk about exaggeration. So the bad guy was usually the palest, blue-eyed guy. And so some of it is like when I started stand-up, it was a lot of being this pale white guy thing.
Speaking of knowing how you're being received and connecting with people, I noticed that you did a couple of things in your I'm going to call it a special, where I was actually taken out for a second because I was noticing how you were not letting other people get taken out. And an example of that would be when you're talking about buying wine at a table and you're looking for something preferably 2 digits, something that preferably starts with a 1.
Yes.
And I think if you were buying a bottle of wine that was $20-some, you would think no different than a bottle that was $14.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, and I'd like to have this conversation.
Yeah,
we
sure.
could edit this out if I'm really
No,
hammering on your act.
Yeah.
But I thought starting with a 1 is going too far the other way to connect to the common folk. Because if you're buying a bottle of wine,
yes,
they're fine with could start with a 2. And I think there's an
it could
equilibrium
also,
there.
I think realistically, a bottle of wine in a restaurant that would have a wine menu, it probably would be 30.
That's
so that's
more so my
yes.
point. I was just giving you
But
one level
that's
up.
hyperbole. And that's
starting
also,
with a 1, I don't know. It's not
ridiculous.
dramatic enough. I don't think it was. It didn't read to me as a joke that this is a cheap bottle of wine. It read to me as a joke of you're trying to connect with the common folk.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, by the way, I think that, I know nothing about wine. I've, the wine menu thing is
Wine Daddy.
Is something.
You gotta check out the special.
It's like
Great.
so. It is so. It plays into a lot of my insecurities. I've not had many interactions.
Wait, what does? Talking about wine?
The awkwardness of being out to dinner and picking a wine and you're supposed to test it for the whole table.
And you feel insecure about it just because you don't know about
because
it?
I'm like, I don't know what it's supposed to taste like. Do you know what I mean? Would you know what it's supposed to taste like?
No, but I don't know what this is supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
I didn't feel insecure saying I smelled orange.
But I think that like there's a certain for me when I go out to dinner, and some of it is that's interesting that you bring that up because in writing the bourbon set, I did not do it for like 2 years. I did it for, this is like 6 or 8 months of material. Like I had a couple bourbon jokes. And then I was like, and I knew that I couldn't do a special. You're going to record a special soon, right? Now, it'll change these rules, but now the rules are kind of like you can do a special every 2 years. And so some of it is I'm all self-assignment. So I was like, I want to do something that it will not interfere with that rule of like you can do a special every 2 years, meaning sell it to Hulu or Netflix or Amazon. And but I want to also, because assignments are so important to me.
But how is a special not a self-assignment?
It is, but some of it is, there's also some fatigue. Some of it is you have to, so like in touring, you can't go to a market, even your best market. If you're doing a theater, you can't go there every year. People need to want to see.
I know. I've had conversations with
what I mean?
comedians, and this is not everybody shares that perspective, but I understand it. I personally feel like you could go to a market as many times as you want. For me, my rule is is I don't want to go back to a market with the same material.
Yes.
So chances are I'm doing the same material. If I'm starting it now, I'm still doing it next year.
Yeah.
But it's not because I was there last year. It's because I did this there last year.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that's for me. Like there's some markets where I went for one night, and I'm like, all right, I'll go there for a weekend.
Right.
Because like I did DC last year, one show, and I was just talking about like I want to do a weekend there. But like if I go
DC Improv's a great club. Great club.
But then there's places where, like I did Chicago and I did one night, but I did 2 shows.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think 800 people or 720 people came.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if I were to go back again.
Is that the Vic?
No, I did 2 shows at
The Den or whatever?
Den.
Yeah.
I'm like that. I don't think I have that many people that want to come see me. Where it would be a lot of the people would be of those 720 people, and I'm like, I don't want to do that again until I have new stuff.
I mean, I totally nerd out on this stuff because I think it's important to be aware of. First of all, you can look at Nate and Nikki Glazer. It's like they're in this flight mode where Nikki and Nate could go back to markets every 6 months and there could be new people at this moment.
Sure. That's
But
the
like,
thing, if it's new people, if you're a big enough draw.
and so I also, I mean, I have a unique view in that I think, supposedly the conventional wisdom is every 18 months, but I think every 18 months, a certain portion of your audience will come. So in other words, I'm doing shows in Denver and I'm doing shows in DC. There's a pool of audience that enjoy my stand-up in Denver, St. Louis, DC, and I'll go to those markets every 2 years. I don't expect most of those people to go. I expect half of them to go every 2 years, and then the other half to be the other 2 years.
So much to think about.
Right?
My reasoning is I, for years, struggled repeating material because I felt like a liar. And I know other people could connect to this in some way. Maybe it's not an obstacle for them.
Yeah.
But like, so for years.
Because some of that is the improv spirit. Like, you can't repeat.
Yeah, I don't think it comes from an improv spirit, but I think maybe that's why I connected so much with it because of just being fully present someplace.
Yeah.
But it was just I was unpracticed in the craft of repeating stuff. I just felt insecure that they know what I'm going to say, or they've heard this already, or they know what my intention is if I'm leaning into playing a certain type of tone.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So I've been repeating stuff now, and it's a very important thing to do to build an act. But like, even like I have friends in Los Angeles that like come out, they like coming to shows, they're friends with other comics, they come a lot. And this is what I'm about to explain to you is a feeling that I don't know if I haven't fully gotten over, but it's not a huge obstacle for me anymore.
Yeah.
But emotionally, it's still something that I have to check myself and logically tell Rick, it's okay. When a friend comes and I know they've seen me 10 times, 15 times, I am thinking that I don't want to be thinking about them when I'm on stage.
Yes.
I don't want to be thinking about anybody while I'm on stage. I want to be in the audience with everybody while I'm on stage.
Yeah.
Best case scenario.
Yes.
So like, if I'm going to a market that I've been to already, and these are people that aren't just seeing me, but people that specifically came to see me, I'm going to be thinking, there's got to be at least 20 people in here that's seen this already. I want to be hey, sorry guys, I'm doing some of the stuff I've done before. And if I don't acknowledge that, then I'm not fully present. I'm just thinking, somebody's heard this.
And then you judge the reaction. You're like, oh, that's because they've heard it. I mean, there's two sides to this. One is people want to hear it. I mean, there was many. I mean, I haven't done the Hot Pockets joke in, I don't know.
That's why I'm
10
asking
years.
you to.
But like, the thing is like, I used to do it as an encore. And so I used to kind of view it as like, all right, this is the cleanup for, I mean, it's not the case it's no longer the case, but it used to be people would come and then there were kids like 12, 13 that would come and they'd want to hear Hot Pockets, they'd want to hear Bacon, they'd want to hear the manatee joke, they'd want to hear certain things.
The big three.
And so I used to do them as an encore, but like I believe that there's an unspoken agreement that if you're coming back to a market, that it will all be new material and not just new, it has to be new and work well. But that's also what I love about touring is these people that like your stand-up, they see you evolve and go through chapters of your life. And like there's been people coming to my shows that, they were dating and then they got married and then they had kids and now they're, like their kids. I mean, I'm going to run into you in 5 years and I'm convinced you're going to be a father, of a dog. But, you're going to be a dog daddy.
I already am.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I want to be able to go on stage and do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
And what I feel like I'm like, let's say you're doing this isn't an issue for you, but like, let's say there's a comedian that does a lot of dirty stuff and they're asked to do a clean show.
Yeah.
Doing a clean show, I don't think is an obstacle. Maybe it is for some people, but like if you're on stage and you want to talk about something that isn't clean and you can't, or you're not supposed to, you could do that, But then something has taken my why for doing this has been taken away there. And it's not about being dirty or not dirty. It's just whatever the thing might be. It could be not wanting to repeat material. It could be not wanting to have to, like, you're doing a show someplace and it's a sold out crowd and you're a guest on something and they're like, you're like, I want to kill. I want to do really well here. But like, I want to talk about this thing, this new thing.
Yeah.
I almost always lean toward doing the thing I want to do.
Yeah.
And I think that that's been an obstacle in my career as a stand-up comedian. I think there's a reason why I don't have a special yet. Because there's strategy in like doing well and fighting through stuff and being self-aware of how people are receiving you and stuff. But like, for me, for like the longevity of like, I love stand-up more now than ever, and I want to keep doing it. I think the rule that I have for myself, at least as of now, is do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And I can't go to a market that I was just at and people are seeing me and buying tickets for me. I also can't feel like, who cares if the show's not good? So it's weird.
Yeah,
it's this weird space.
I don't, that people phoning it in, and it's or kind of like people showing up unprepared, because for me it's less about burning a market and more about how it's like the whole notion of fan or whatever I think is weird. I think it's kind of like people that enjoy your comedy, they're entrusting you with their Saturday night or Thursday night.
Yeah.
And it's not even about the money. It's like, look, this is my Thursday night. I'm bringing my friend who I told them about you.
You go into a restaurant, you don't want the chef to just
you don't want
to
to disappoint a friend. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm a great guy.
You want to talk about some silly shit?
Yeah. We should.
You know what? Before I do that, can I ask you some personal stuff about the touring with Seinfeld?
Sure.
I've become friends with Kevin Nealon.
I love Kevin Nealon.
Same.
Yeah.
And he's touring with Sandler.
Oh, great.
And they're both successful people that when you go to shows, there's a huge difference between the connection that people have, or at least the amount of people that have a connection to Sand. And the way he talks about like what it's like in seeing those venues. Do you feel something when you're on the road with Jerry where it's different when you're not with him? And could you explain what that is?
Yeah, no, it is. First of all, there is, obviously Jerry has achieved success in so many different aspects.
Really?
Of the entertainment industry. I don't know
if you're going to say Comedians in Cars in the B movie, I just think that's piggybacking off of his show. The stand-up.
Seinfeld, I don't know,
Seinfeld. I think that's the big thing.
I think that's the big thing, but I think Comedians in Cars was a pretty damn
Comedians in
huge
Cars,
thing.
and I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this, is one of my favorite shows, including scripted shows. Comedians in Cars and Shark Tank are the only two non-scripted shows that are in a top list of mine.
That's interesting.
I love Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. It's podcasting in its best form, where it's just cut down to the stuff that's good.
Yeah.
And he is...
It's an editing masterpiece, right? And but it wasn't
a huge... Maybe it was.
No, it was pretty gigantic.
Yeah.
Again, it's like things are moving so fast. I think we forget how... I think it won an Emmy. We forget how important it was.
It was a great show.
He also does things and he stops before it gets stale. He intentionally goes, you know what, that's good enough.
Like Steve Martin.
You know what I mean? And so he has this it's impossible to draw a comparison.
To what comparison?
To doing a show with because obviously I open for a lot of people, and I would get a sense of their kind of their audience vibe or stuff like that. Like I did a show with Sebastian Maniscalco, and there was a different vibe than Seinfeld show, or but I don't know. Some of it's this arena show. You felt like people really these were people that were the type of people that were like, yeah, I'm going to go to the Seinfeld show. I'm going to do that. Like they're
What do you mean? As
true
opposed to?
comedy fans, not, there wasn't like a cost prohibitive nature to it. There wasn't, Jerry has a very broad appeal, but you got a sense, and this is the same with Sebastian, you got a sense that everyone's super successful in the audience.
Sebastian has that kind of crowd too.
Oh yeah, very high ticket price.
He's coming on my podcast next week for the first time
Why would you do that?
because I'm just excited to have him on.
No, that was me doing
know.
Sebastian. But that's fun.
I found that the audience that comes to see me are, and I've mentioned this on my podcast before, but it's a lot of socially awkward guys and just really hot women.
There you go. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Mine kind of covers the gamut, but I would say that it is. There's a lot of families, generational stuff. So it might be teenager and parents, or parents and their parents. So it's not, and some of them are having a good time, but like not
other
out of
ones
control. What's that?
What are the people that are not having a good time?
No, well, I'm saying people are not berserk drunk. Like there's some comedians you go to their shows and you're like, what is going on
Right,
here?
it's like frat stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they've created a party atmosphere, which is great, and the audience wants that. But sometimes they're held captive by that, right?
When you're as successful as Jerry is, then is it really a demographic that goes to see him? You know what I'm saying? Like I would be like saying, there's a certain type of person that goes to an NBA game. No, it's so broad that there's so many different types of people.
Yeah.
But there is maybe a certain type of person that goes to like the banana baseball league at this level.
Right, yeah.
At a certain point, it's just wide enough. But Jerry still it's the vibe of success. Is that because are his ticket prices more expensive?
I think his ticket prices are up there. He's also somebody that, from an age demographic, covers a pretty large area. So, like the kids that are getting into watching reruns of Seinfeld are into it.
Yeah.
And then there's people my age that the show was the biggest thing in the world that are into it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I would say that. And then there's just sheer comedy fans, because he was, before even the show, he was this guy who was kind of the king of late night, kind of like he and Jay Leno and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Would be on Letterman or The Tonight Show. You know what I mean?
I saw him. My uncle does lighting for a lot of things, and he does comedy specials for a lot of them. He's like Dancing with the Stars. He does like a lot of live things, and one of them was the Las Vegas Comedy Festival, which was before I ever did stand up.
Oh wow!
And I went a couple
Was it
years.
the HBO one?
Maybe it was. It was in the early 2000s.
Oh, I don't know if Yeah, I think I probably went to that.
There's a lot of people were there.
I was on a show with Triumph, but yeah.
But I bring that up because I got to see, like, I remember I was in, this is again before I did stand-up, but I was in sound check with Chris Rock at the Coliseum, and I remember he was talking about, I never thought about this before, but his mom or parents or somebody was coming, and he was like talking about how I can't have them in the first 8 rows or whatever because he didn't want to see them. And I was like, I remember thinking, why? Oh, that makes sense. I never thought about you wouldn't want to see somebody like that.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so cool. And I got to see Jerry perform.
Yeah.
And I was blown, and I'd seen a fair amount of stand-up still. I was blown away. I'd never seen him live. I'd never seen any of his stand-up other than the show Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I've since seen older sets, newer sets, specials and stuff. But I was just blown away. And ever since then, still, I am one of those people who thinks he's one of the greatest ever do it.
Yeah.
And it's very specific to him by design.
Yes.
But I also wonder, as somebody who is a comedy nerd, but who's around him, and we get inspired and we think of things. Is there anything that you've noticed that he's done, either that you have adopted, not joke-wise, but craft-wise,
Yes,
structure-wise,
yes.
and or that you haven't, but that you appreciate? Could you think of anything?
Absolutely. Oh, I mean, I think of things all the time. You know what I mean?
Could you give some
It's-
examples?
Yeah. Well, one, I think that Jerry has an approach to stand-up and comedy that has kind of these absolutes, meaning, there's no, like, we know them as like, no topic is off base, or like, you can't censor, and any topic can be made funny, but he has more kind of significant ones that you curate. Like you learn there's jokes, how to write jokes and stuff like that, and you also learn what works for you and what are some absolutes. And so some of the absolutes are, which Jerry really kind of believes in, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, but he's kind of like, it's all about the funny. That's the hardest thing. The hardest thing is to tell a joke. It's easy to get applause. It's easy to get them to agree with you. It's harder to make them laugh. Do you know what I mean? So like that's like one of the absolutes that you kind of intuitively know. Like if you're a comedian, you've seen a lot of comedians, and you're like, gosh, the crowd loves this guy. You know what I mean? He's like the crude examples would be like, I support the troops. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm against racism. Everyone applauds because everyone believes that, but that's not a joke. And so Jerry's kind of like, it's all about the joke. And I believe in that premise. He's also kind of, the joke is never done, and finding fulfillment in the process.
Joke's never done as in you could keep honing it, or
Yes.
you could keep tagging it.
So you can keep tagging it, and that's where, something that, he and I have debated, because, like, as I said before, it's like, what's so great about Jerry or Chris Rock or even Conan is they evolve. They're like water, and they evolve to like how things are going. Like one of the things that I believe that's evolved is that in the 70s or 80s, you didn't need to be autobiographical. You could just have jokes.
Isn't that what you said with Richard Pryor was so
yeah,
much with his
but
vulnerability?
he was but like when Jerry was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, his jokes were like, you ever open your car and your trunk and you look in there, you don't even know what you're looking for. You expect to find an on-off button, like those kind of jokes. But he's evolved where he's included autobiographical information about himself. He would probably disagree with this, but like, so the age that we live in here in the 2020s is so exhibitionist, so kind of, social influencers kind of like, here's me putting on my makeup. So the price of entry to is you have to give some of yourself. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think that the comedian of 1984 wouldn't have to talk about his character. No, he could, but like I also can nerd out. I believe that there's different types of comedians and there's different attributes, and you need two. Like, do you want me to total nerd you out?
Maybe for a little, and I might cut you
on.
off. No, do it, and then I might be like, okay, and the audience
Yeah.
is probably going to be enjoying it
Yeah.
if I end up stopping it. But I'm just drunk.
Like
right
I think there's different types. And Jerry disagrees with this, but I believe there's observational comedians. There's the clown. Like, you've got a little bit of clown in you. There's the preacher. You're insulted by the clown thing. Clown is kind of silly and approachable. It's like Todd Glass has got some of that. And then there's the social satirist. But
You've
the
never
preacher.
seen me perform?
I don't think I have.
You haven't.
I've seen you be very funny on this podcast, though.
Thanks. You haven't seen me do stand up. So I do. I guess I question why it is that you felt validated in defining
Well, that's me kind of, I probably shouldn't have. But I think there's
Maybe
also...
this is why Jerry disagrees with you so much.
But would you say that, like, when you see a comedian and you haven't seen them perform, as a comedian, you can kind of guess.
You could understand their energy, yes.
Right.
I don't think you could assume their point of view. And I think that's very arrogant
Are
of you.
you telling me
I think
that,
it's
like,
very arrogant of you.
you come across as a sweet, you don't want someone else to feel bad, you want to play, I would guess that your stand-up is not divisive. It's not kind of like, how about these people? I mean, even some of your jokes, are very kind of silly, almost kind of like, if the joke doesn't land, I would imagine that you have the ability for the audience to enjoy with you the awkwardness of that moment.
I don't mean this.
Am I describing you right?
No.
No.
First of all, I have yet to do a joke that doesn't land.
You've never made a joke that hasn't worked.
Well, because I don't make jokes. I make observations. I'm an observationalist, not a clown.
You're an observationalist.
You know what I am?
But by the way, you have to have two of those.
I'm an observationalist. I'm a clown.
Yes. Are you a social satirist? Are you a preacher? Like, so Chris Rock and Bill Burr are preachers, right? And there's different ways. Kind of, Sam Kinison was a preacher. Bill Hicks was a preacher. You know what I mean?
Bill Hicks was an actual, Sam Kinison was an actual preacher.
Yeah.
Dude, Sam Kinison is before my time. I'm 29. But
Yeah.
I understand that he yelled a lot and people loved it and then he died.
Yeah.
And now people aren't looking at Sam Kinison stuff anymore.
I don't,
Do you feel like the kids need to learn about him?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Would you play him in a documentary?
In a documentary? You mean kind of, it's not in a movie, but more of a documentary where we just need some footage.
Oh, you're not going to be him in a movie.
We don't need acting.
Yeah, we just want to have somebody with a recognizable face.
Would you be able to play him in a graphic novel? You know what I mean? You'd be good as, like, could you
You've never
play...
seen me in a book.
Could you play Robert Redford if it was a sign language audiobook? You know what I mean? But
What do I? Sometimes when people say a joke that is worth saying, but it doesn't make me laugh, and I don't have anything to add to it.
Yeah.
I find myself in a position where I think like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I get it, Robert Redford. You just it's an audiobook. I get it, but like, what am I supposed to do there? Really, this isn't a rhetorical question. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go? Yeah.
No, that is interesting.
Because that feels dishonest.
Well, there is some of it. It's the honest ribbing, right?
But I don't think what you said was
By the
stupid
way, when
or not worth it.
When I started stand-up, like, the roasting thing was, I would imagine you're not a roast comic.
Yeah, says the fat tub of shit with a little fucking cock.
Oh my God.
I could do it, man.
Is there anything sacred?
I could do it. Nice beer. Where'd you get that?
But you're not like that. You're not like that.
Interesting. Is that a mustache behind you?
Oh my gosh. See, yeah, no, you were all...
Not a clown, dude.
You're silliness. You are silliness. And that's, by the way, there's nothing wrong with any of these
Do you want to open
attributes.
for me on the road?
No, not at all. But I imagine that I would like your audience.
A lot of comedy clubs, almost every time, and servers, they tell me how much they like my audience.
Yeah, that's a great compliment. Right?
Yeah. I also think as far as like comedy podcasts are concerned, if you look at comments on people's comedy podcasts, relatively speaking, this is just like, if this was your introduction to YouTube, you'd be like, wow, people on YouTube are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you haven't been on the other ones.
No, it's like when sometimes people will be like, how do you deal with hecklers in your shows? I'm like, people that come to my shows are not heckling. You know what I mean? Like, they're not.
Because you're a clown.
Because I'm a clown.
What would you call yourself? A preacher?
Oh, well, No, I'm very much an observationalist, but there's also self-deprecating. I'm very self-deprecating.
Listen, I understand the levels of why you wouldn't want to do the Hot Pockets bit. I do.
Yeah.
Do you see the funny of not just doing the bit, but the fact that you're willing to do the bit? Mm-hmm. Is there a world where I could get you to do the Hot Pockets joke. I would love to see what it's like for you to do this big joke on the spot.
It seems like it's important to you, but I'm not going to do it.
I'll give you $300 if you promise to give it back.
No. But I think it's like there's, we're always
Do the voice. Just go, Hot Pockets.
I can't. You can.
I don't need you. I don't need you to do it.
Insert it.
My want for this is just because like I'm recognizing. This is a big thing that you're like trying to separate yourself from, and I just think that's so interesting.
It's so interesting. What? And by the way, the Hot Pocket thing, I'm the beneficiary of that, right? The fact that had a moment, I don't know, 20 years ago, but the fact that I'm the beneficiary of it is. Who knows what what the zeitgeist or what society embraces?
What do they all? How much do they offer you?
And not that much.
200,000?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this really $125 to $150?
It is. Yeah.
What about my numbers guessing?
I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Would you say I'm an observationalist?
I would say you're better at numbers guessing than stand-up.
What
am I supposed to say to that, Jim?
Well, I do have some good numbers jokes. Yeah. Why was 5 afraid of 6?
Because 7, 8, 9.
No, I was 5 afraid of 6.
Because 7, 8, 9. Oh, well,
that's why that would be why 6 is afraid of 7.
Yeah. So why is 5 afraid of 6?
Because 6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8.
Why was 9 afraid of 10?
Because 10, 11, 12.
Why was 14 afraid of 15?
Because there was an elephant in the fridge.
The horse's name was Friday. Is what you're looking
really?
for. Yeah.
There's different. Do you remember those jokes? Like
who are you talking to?
I'm talking to this person over here. Do you remember those? You demand eye contact, don't you?
I notice when people aren't present with me.
That's so interesting.
Because and I notice it not because I'm noticing them, but because I'm then taken out. I could give you an example I think that you could connect with, or even you. You're talking to somebody and they're on their phone for a second. That's okay. I'm going to wait, though, until you're not on your phone.
Yeah.
Because I'm now out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
I can appreciate, now I'm not going to look at you.
You don't have to. And I don't think that by looking, I think that you could be present with somebody when you're looking away, too.
I think that the phone is really a problem. Not just for you, for our society. I think it's like...
Do you have a bit on this?
I don't, but...
Let's do one.
I think it's like, like I've kind of worked around the notion of the algorithm, how like the algorithm knows so much about us, but we never think about the algorithm. You know what I mean? What about...
Like feeding the algorithm the things you think it wants?
Yeah. I mean, we just are so caught, the algorithm, we never acknowledge the algorithm for sending us some of those videos.
I think by clicking on it, by definition, is the acknowledgement of it. It's like if somebody were to give you a recommendation, keep recommending restaurants, and you end up going to those restaurants.
But do you ever say thanks? Do you ever take your phone out and go and think, just to yourself, thanks, algorithm?
I've heard that, I'm making these numbers up, but it's coming from like a thing that like ChatGPT spends millions of dollars and so much energy just dealing with people who say thanks because it has to respond with your welcome. Like it has to respond to it. And how much...
Did you make that up?
I don't know the number, but no, I didn't make that up.
But so they do have to... So there's people that are polite.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah.
So that's...
And it takes... It's a burden to the technology.
Right.
You know, when I'm in a green room and a server comes in and asks if I want anything, because I typically, although maybe I'll start drinking if they carry Father Time. This is incredible.
Yeah.
But
it's only available at fathertime.com.
/TYSO for 20% off.
No, it's fathertime hyphen fathertime hyphen bourbon.com. Just Google it.
Oof.
Yeah. Right.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's people are just gonna.
But when they ask, "Do you want anything?" And I don't, because the only thing I want is my water. I say no, but can I get you anything?
That's funny.
And they never say yes.
Because they're working.
I want stuff when I'm working more than when I'm not.
Yeah. But that's an interesting, like, developing responses to classic things that we encounter.
I have another one that I continue to do, and it rarely gets a laugh, and it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Is when somebody drops off like DoorDash at my
Yeah.
place. I don't open the door. I stopped during COVID, and I still don't.
Yeah.
I just look through the peephole and I say, "Put it on the ground." No. But they put it on the ground.
Yeah.
And I'll through the people, and when I see them taking a picture of it, I go, "Do you want me to take one with you in it?" And they always say, they don't always say, but more than not, it's no, it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's such a funny thing to say.
Right. I like to say when if I'm out to eat and the waiter says, "Do you have any questions?" I always like to say, "Why are you yelling?"
It's good.
Especially if they're not yelling.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine it happens too much.
They're
that
never
they are
yelling.
yelling.
Yeah, they're never yelling, but I'll be like, "Okay, you don't have to yell."
Do you have poop on your right shoe?
I don't know. Do you think that's poop?
I don't.
I don't know. That looks like blood, honestly. You know when you kill someone? I mean, you've killed someone, right?
I mean, buddy, what are you saying right now? You're making this so casual.
I mean, we've all gotten into weird situations, and you know, things go sideways. You got a dead body, right? And you have to get rid of it. And you're like, how did Dexter do this on the show? You know what I mean?
I got a SAG voucher on that show.
You did?
If you want to get into the Screen Actors Guild union, one of the ways of doing it is getting 3 SAG vouchers where you're featured as a background actor in something.
Oh.
And I got one on there.
And so what episode is it?
I don't know. It was a security cam footage in a wine cellar. And I was in there. I did a lot of background work when I first moved here. Wow. That's where I got my start. That's how I developed my chops.
First here, meaning New York or L.A.?
Here being the business.
Business.
Los Angeles.
And so what was that like?
One of the things I did, I also did background work for like live studio audience stuff, and I did one for...
Wait a minute, there's background stuff. You mean like...
not background, excuse me. It's the same thing. When you're doing background, you're basically getting paid to be someplace.
Yeah.
So like, I was in the audience for Deal or No Deal, but that's still considered background.
Deal, is that Wayne
Howie
Brady?
Mandel's.
Howie Mandel.
Yeah. I was in the front...
Is that where they opened the cases?
Yes.
Meghan Markle, right? Wasn't she on that?
I believe it, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know she was on Suits.
Yeah, no, she was on Deal No Deal. She was
Cool.
one of those eye candy girls, which I thought was objectifying
Right.
because I care about women. You don't.
Do you feel that...
You know what's so weird? It's like before the podcast, so many racial slurs coming out of your mouth. And then once the podcast starts, you're like...
You make a lot of dark jokes, man, about killing people and about people being racist.
Well, you know, I mean...
I thought you don't like to divide people.
I don't. You know what I mean?
Would
It's
you
just
prefer
weird.
that instead of having beautiful women be the Deal or No Deal briefcase holders, that it was ugly women?
Yeah, I would. I think it would be really interesting. It would be like, oh my
Unfortunately,
gosh,
I could see how that's really funny.
oh my God, that jackpot is $10 million, but that woman looks unhealthy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I
she
know that
looks
you
like
don't watch Deal or No Deal with a $10 million jackpot.
Yeah. What does it get up to on?
You know, now there's a new one with Joe Manganiello on an island that maybe it's higher, but where I was
Joe
coming from-
Manganiello, the buff guy.
Yeah.
He does Deal or No Deal.
He is the host of Deal or No Deal Island or something,
Right.
where it's like Deal or No Deal but on an island.
And
it's more of a reality show than it is an episodic.
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and the winner of the island. So maybe that's 10 million. Or
Oh,
something
they
more.
evolve.
just like Jerry Seinfeld or Bill Burr
Right.
or Wanda Sykes,
Wanda
the big
Sykes.
three,
Yeah.
or Sarah.
Sarah, you know.
Yeah, I know Sarah. When you say Sarah, I know what Sarah you're talking about. But when you say Wanda, I'm wondering if you're talking about that multicam Marvel
I'm
show.
talking about Sarah from the Bible. And we're back. Now we're back here, and I tell you, so let's talk a little bit. So when's the last time you were angry?
Angry and sad. overlaps sometimes, and I don't know which one it is.
Oh, I think that's very common among men. It's like we don't know how to be sad, so we're angry.
That's a your generation Irish drinker thing.
Yeah.
I'm in touch
So
with it.
you're saying you people, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying it to. I'm not saying.
Okay.
I'm saying it about.
Okay. All right.
It's okay to say that to when you're white to somebody who's white.
Yeah, but I'm not white.
A lot of African American literature, the bad guy was usually the palest, blue-eyed guy. When I started stand-up, it was a lot of being this pale white guy thing.
No, but some of it is I thought we were playing. But like if you want to invalidate, I mean, this is why you were kicked out of Groundlings. Now let's swipe to him getting kicked out of Groundlings. You know, like that could have messed someone up.
What?
But now, getting banned by Groundlings.
I get kicked out of stuff. And
You do?
I get kicked out of stuff. I don't get kicked out of stuff for like smoking cigarettes. I get kicked out of stuff for just like annoying people. And I got kicked out of a lot of things.
You're
And
kind of like a Karen. No, you're not. No, you're not a Karen. But like, it doesn't. You seem so sweet and
I've always been sweet. I really
you
did.
get in trouble for things.
I'm still not great at it, but I'm aware of my blind sides here, of my blind spots with this, where I have a difficult time reading the room, and what I've gotten good at is recognizing that I don't know. I don't know if when I saw you guys at the comedy club the other day, I even said to you, "Hey guys, I want to be doing jokes and bits and stuff.
Yeah.
Are we doing that? Or are you guys having serious, I'm being boring conversation?" I could ask people if it's okay. So I've gotten good at asking permission to be myself.
No, that's interesting.
And if I don't get permission, I know like, okay, well, I'm just not going to be here because I don't want to not be this.
Right.
But before I knew how to ask permission, I didn't recognize that people weren't good at setting boundaries. Either they didn't know they wanted to, they didn't feel it was worth doing it. It's easier to just be like, okay, and roll their eyes until this guy leaves. But like I thought, like I grew up thinking that I was the funniest and everybody loved me.
Right.
And I have a bit about this, but I talk about I didn't realize I didn't have friends until recently. I just thought everybody was busy all the time. And like I wasn't bullied, I wasn't picked on. Nobody was inviting me places. And I didn't even realize that. So like I would get like, then when I was finally able to be in poker games or weekly basketball games or improv troops or whatever, it would be like, it'd at least be one or two people that are like, all right, this guy's got to get out of here. He just doesn't stop.
I find that so interesting because that actually fits perfectly for the comedian thing, because it feels a little bit like a cop-out, but like the whole getting in trouble for things, I also think that, because I try to articulate this to my kids, and some of people might be like, it's just a behavior problem, but like, because and this might be my justification, I've always thought that because I'm goofy looking, when the teacher turns around and someone's going to get in trouble, her eye or his eye would stop on the pale white kid and go, "It was you." Do you know what I mean? So like, I feel like I was
interesting. You think that not because you've proven over time that you are a jokester, it's because they look around and everybody else has tan and
it's not so much that, it's just this belief that I will, if I do something wrong, I will get caught. So like if I'm gossiping,
but you grew up Catholic, right?
Yeah, so some of it is the guilt
God's
stuff,
watching
right?
you. Now it's Big Brother.
Yeah, but like, and I did a joke. What's that? Now it's Big Brother. Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? Now they're scrolling through this. Like your editor works for them.
He's not watching.
He's not watching. But I've always kind of believed that, and that's less of the feeling guilty about things and more of being self-aware. Self-aware. It's also. One of those things where I think a lot of things go my way, but it doesn't surprise me when things don't go my way. It doesn't surprise me when my flight is delayed 4 hours.
So are you saying that it's you don't get angry because you have good expectations?
Expectations? I do get angry, but I very much have an expectation that, like, it's a joke with me and my manager. It's like you're like I'll be supposed to do something and I'm like, I got to get out of it. And where like in the entertainment industry, typically people will understand that where, like normally they're like, that's unfortunate, da, da, da. Whereas in one in 100,
like missing a flight.
I'm talking about like if there is a situation where someone would threaten to sue someone, they would threaten to sue me as opposed to they wouldn't, in a business arrangement.
Your Hot Pocket money.
No, not so much that, but getting out of a thing where like they'd be like, oh, you can't do this.
I'm sorry. I'm drunk.
I don't want to like
Can you
bring
give an
the example. An example is like, an example would be, some of it is, it's, say like 2 comedians are supposed to do a corporate event and they both have to cancel so they can do something. Like, so for instance, when I got SNL to do Tim Walz, I had to cancel a bunch of shows because there was this commitment for the entire quarter until
and
the
Comedy
election.
Club sued you.
And there were, I won't say who it was, but there were like 2 examples where normally they would be like, oh, that's amazing. You're doing SNL. That's unfortunate. Let us adjust. Yeah. They were like, we're going to sue you. And I'm like, why? And my manager thought it was so funny. He's like, I don't know why they want to sue you. And I'm like, well, don't they understand that this is not me, bailing on them like.
Well, it is, but for a reason that is kind of built into what this business is.
It's also like bailing on an opportunity of a lifetime, right? Because of an opportunity of a lifetime. And he was like, I don't know why.
How did you know that they were going to sue you if they didn't sue you?
They didn't bring it up. My manager and agent didn't bring it up to me until 6 months later. And they're like, look, these people, when you were doing SNL, you had to pull out of this corporate and they were going to sue you. There was another corporate that I tried to pull out of and they're like, no. And it was so short, I had to fly all the way to Hawaii from New York and fly back, and so like I missed the table read and I missed the Tuesday rehearsal. The SNL week, I was only in one sketch a week, but like.
So you had 2 things that week and you canceled one of them and the other one you just did.
Yeah, no, the other corporate was a different thing, but it was just one of those things where like, I think for most 9 out of 10 other people in that situation, they'd be like, oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, we'll adjust. But like in both of them,
so why are we talking? What did this mean?
I don't know.
It was about something about like it was your expectations.
I get caught because I get caught.
Right.
I get caught, and how it's not Catholic guilt. It's just also the belief that I think and it is. It kind of keeps me on the straight and narrow, and kind of like, okay. Yeah. So like I remember, like it's why I don't steal. It's like, it's just, you're going to get caught.
I also subscribe to not necessarily you're going to get caught, but you can.
Yeah.
So making decisions based on, are you okay getting caught doing this thing, has kind of guided a big part of my moral compass, really.
Yes.
Where it's like, am I doing this because I'm empathizing with another person, or am I doing this because I guess what's the difference? I don't want them to find out and be hurt. But like stealing is a great example of that. I've stolen 2 things as a kid. The second thing I stole was this piece of sand art from a camp where you put sand in a bottle and then you put toothpicks in it and then it looks like zigzag sand.
Yeah.
And I was waiting to get picked up and I took that and I showed it to my mom and my grandma who picked me up from camp. And they go, wow, this is so good. They were really proud of me. And I felt so bad. And then I admitted that I stole it. I stole 3 things. I remember something else I stole.
Yeah.
I stole $50.
You stole my heart.
I stole $50 from my dad.
Yeah.
From on his nightstand because I was saving up for a Game Boy and I had all these coins and $50. And I asked my brother if he would help me count the coins. And then I said, and add this to it. It was 50.
Yeah.
He goes, where'd you get that? I said, I took it from Dad, and then I gave it back to Dad.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I didn't even get caught for those things. And just the idea of like, I don't know.
Well, see, for me, it's like, it sounds, that's not to say that I don't have guilt and stuff like that. I just exist in the reality of I will, in all likelihood, get caught. So, like
people who cheat, right?
Yeah.
Let me give an example that's less, I don't know if it's less, if it's worse, if it's, I don't think this, let me give you a different example. People who drive drunk. There are people who then decide, I'm not going to drive drunk. And the reason they're going to choose to not drive drunk is because they don't want to get caught.
Yeah.
I don't think that is a sustainable model for not doing things. Because if you find a way to do it where you don't get caught, you'll do it. But not wanting to drive drunk because you could put yourself and other people of danger, that's the reason to not do it.
For me, it's all about other people. Could you imagine living with the consequences of, like, because you were drunk driving, someone else? I'm not even thinking of that. I'm thinking of, like, stealing money from a job, or taking. We have all these kids, so we have these babysitters come in, and sometimes they, this is 20 years of this, and
all
sometimes
these kids, and we have these babies. So you have this gaggle of babysitters.
There was always babysitters, and the thing is like some of them would steal stuff, and the reality is like when they would be caught. I saw illustrated what I always thought which was true. It's less about the thing that's stolen or the value of the thing that's stolen. It's the embarrassment they feel about being caught.
This is what I'm saying.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So don't do things
Yeah.
that you don't want other people to.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to masturbate and you don't want everybody watching.
I've never done that.
Bullshit, dude.
I've never.
You've never come when you were just by yourself?
I've never ever had sex.
Oh, okay. Now you're just being silly. But like, even messages with people. Like, I assume that any message that somebody sends me on Instagram, or if I send them a message, there's a chance that they're going to screen grab this and put it somewhere place.
Yeah.
So like, I have this inherent lack of trust in people because I know that there's a chance. Like, was it? I think it was today, just now, right? Was it you who said you don't trust people because, like, the water? Was that here? Because I said I rinsed my cup.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I don't trust them as I think they're gonna put a finger in their butt and then touch the lid of the glass. It's just that I don't trust that their sense of what clean is the same, for better or worse, as mine.
Absolutely.
And I've become a very skeptical, untrusting person. Not untrusting as in somebody's intentions and their morals, but untrusting is like, I mean, I am drunk and this doesn't matter.
I think that it's a slippery slope. Also, because like,
but it's true,
I think
man.
that people justify things. So like people that have that we've caught taking stuff from us, it's like, from their perspective, they're like, these people don't need this extra pair of shoes.
But then they could say to you,
yeah,
Jim, it is a humbling place I'm in at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm struggling and I need a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if there's any way I could make an extra $4 an hour, or you could help me out with this or something. That's a tough thing to ask, but if that's your truth, if you're willing to take the thing, as long as you don't know about it, be willing to let you know about it.
It's interesting because I think that's embarrassing also, right?
And I think not just in this, but this is like another. I could do an hour on this.
Yeah.
I think that embarrassment and discomfort have really bad PR, and people are afraid of it because they haven't allowed themselves to experience it enough. And I think that's a big benefit of doing stand-up. Kobe, I'm paraphrasing this, but he said how important sport is, not just to get to the NBA or the highest level, but even in grade school, to to do stuff that really matters to you, because it might be low stakes to everybody else, but this matters to you right now. And like to lose and to be disappointed, and then to know, all right, I can now prepare myself a little bit better for the next time.
I think,
and that competition, then you start to.
I think that is so common. That's one of the great lessons of stand-up, is that the ability to absorb defeat and awkwardness is so key. And sometimes it's like you get comfortable on stage, and then when you have to start over, you have to.
You mean a new hour?
A new hour, or trying a new joke, and things failing. You develop calluses where, I mean, some of these great basketball players, they, like Michael Jordan missing final shots, or maybe it was Kobe. People think he's the greatest, but he missed final shots in 6 games. But people don't talk about that, except for me. But like the thing is that like you have to develop calluses. That's where I think stand-ups, out of necessity, you have to try things. Out of necessity, you have to sit there
but if you had that mindset in life of out of necessity, you have to try things and do things. I think the feeling of embarrassment isn't necessarily you don't feel that embarrassment anymore, but you just. I was on my way to my show yesterday, and I wanted to leave now so I could get there. I want to watch the people that go before me, and I ended up getting there 15 minutes late because on my way out the door, I had this bowl of bean soup that I wanted to put in my fridge so I could have it when I got home, and it spilt it in the way that you do if you were filming it for a multicam. You know what I'm saying? Bouncing off everything and going all over on me and this, and my immediate reaction was about to be, just cortisol running through my body. And out loud, I said, Rick, this is fine. This is fine. You've done this stuff before.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine in 15 minutes. And it truly, I'm still pissed. Not pissed. I'm still disappointed. But like chemically, it didn't do this because I've done stuff before that made me go late, or that I spilled something. All I'm saying is, in life, you don't want to say, I'm going to spill this soup. I'd rather just not spill the soup.
Right.
But like, do things that embarrass you, and you find out, oh, I'm going to be fine in 15 minutes.
Yes.
And you're not afraid of being embarrassed. I think that I've actually gotten such a kick out of that I've had to learn, like, oh, not everybody wants to play this game. I like looking for situations, not to make other people uncomfortable, but to play scenes that you get to live. Imagine if this is where we lived.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I really think I'm drunk.
Some of it is, you might be.
This stuff's incredible.
Right.
FatherTime/bourbon.com.
It's dash.
I don't think there's a difference.
I think slash is that.
That's
dash,
a // dash. What's a slash without a forward or backward?
That is, slash goes like that. Dash goes like.
So dash and hyphen. Dash is short for hyphen.
Hyphen?
Yeah.
Hyphen is that too.
That
right?
that I know.
I think it's hyphen then.
So it's FATHERTIMEHY. How do you spell hyphen?
You don't spell.
Do you know how to spell hyphen?
I think it's HYPHEN.
Are you a good speller?
I'm not a good speller. I was like somebody that had to work really hard to get B's.
How do you even know how to spell that?
I think writing stand-up has helped my spelling enormously.
Do you write?
Because I'll write on the computer and then I'll be like, all right, what does that say?
You think if you were to come and watch me perform an hour, you would, if I hired you, of course. I'm not saying do you want to do this. I'm saying in this hypothetical world, would you be able to look at it and use your writer's mind, you have a different mind than me, and be able to be like, hey, Rick, and give notes in ways that you think would benefit me?
I think possibly, but I also think that most advice that comedians give each other, like, and I'm sure people have given you lines and you're like, yeah, I thought of that and I tried that and it didn't work. Like sometimes it's also affected by your point of view. Like I don't know your point of view, or maybe even the whole.
I'm just a clown, dude.
Perspective. Maybe you are a clown.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I absolutely am.
And there's nothing wrong with that because the thing is people love that.
People love clowns is something that I think has changed
but,
a lot
the thing
since
is
the 80s.
The notion, the disservice of when I say clown is because there's this dark association, which is the opposite of what the use of clown I'm trying to use.
I think of clown as like being like I was a class clown in high school.
Yes.
Like you're a clown. You're a goofy, playful boy.
Yes.
Or girl.
It's like
or
Robin Williams
some
was a
stuff in
clown.
between.
But, Mark Cohen, I don't know if you know him. He's very much
Mr.
a clown.
and Mrs. Cohen's kid?
No, he's Mark Cohen. He's a great comedian. He's you'll see him at the Cellar in Las Vegas. He works a lot there. But I'm trying to think of who
Brad
else.
Garrett works in Las Vegas a lot too.
Brad Garrett is then there's the crowd work guy. You know what I mean?
Do you know Brad?
I don't know him well, but
I worked
like
with him on for a year on a show, and I
seems like a very sweet, sincere
very
guy.
sweet guy. I didn't know. I mean, I've seen him be funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was at the level that he is in person. Like, he made me break so much. He's like a very, very funny guy.
He's very funny.
But yeah, I
and
think it is mostly crowd work, the stand-up stuff.
But he is also, so when I started, he was, I think he started opening there are great crowd work comedians. Like, by the way, I don't know if you've ever seen Ian Bagg. I think he's one of the
funny.
best crowd work comedians. And that's where I think it's almost kind of, it's so standard. Like, people probably watching this are like, don't all comedians do crowd work? They all can, but there are people that are exceptionally good at it. And that's where
improv meets stand-up the most.
Brad and Ian, and I think in both of them, they have this presence where it's kind of reminds me of the whole notion of these people that take martial arts so that they don't get in fights. Like Brad and Ian have an intimidating presence. They don't abuse it, but it doesn't turn into a source of conflict with the audience because they have that presence. Anyways,
Are you a good fighter?
Right back. No.
You don't have to answer that yet.
Yeah. We'll be right back. That's what I want. We'll be right back. What's your favorite TV show? You don't watch TV at all.
I love TV.
Yeah? What do you watch?
Right now I'm rewatching West Wing.
Okay.
I rewatch Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, and Sopranos and Sex and the City once a year.
Sopranos. You say Sopranos like my son does.
Should I say Sopranos?
Sopranos, yeah.
Does he have a deep voice?
No, he just says Sopranos, and I'm like, what's that from? But there's different ways to say it.
When you write...
My kids say aunt. I don't like aunt. I like
a black
aunt.
thing. Do they have a lot of black friends?
No, it's a Northeastern thing, too.
Aunt.
Do you say aunt?
I say aunt. Do they when
But
they
that's
shower?
Midwestern.
Do they use a washcloth for their soap?
I don't know. Probably my son probably doesn't. He probably
right.
doesn't.
It's hard to get your son to shower. You kept talking to me about your son being naked and stuff.
That was a different. No, I didn't.
You kept talking to me about your son and you try to show me pictures of your son. Or you can make it
That's
seem
just weird. Like it's like I'm.
Do you have a kid that's 18 yet?
Yeah.
I'm talking about his.
It's still inappropriate, or unappropriate.
Would you prefer me not talk about it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because it's just like, my kids don't even like it if I post a photo of them.
You know, a lot of people think that the term cocktail comes from the term chicken cock, which up until the late 1800s, there was no word rooster. It was just chicken cock and suck my cock, and that's where it comes from. A lot of these stories are made up. Like a lot of stories about bourbon are like just made up. A lot of times you're like, oh, you drink a little bit of bourbon, the story's gonna be a lot better. And then when you finish it, you won't even remember the story. And if you think that's funny, you should go to jimgaffigan.com/comedy.
No,
and check out
go to
Jim's.
YouTube.
They know what they're doing.
Okay.
Dude,
what if like this launched you and you were like, and then you find yourself in like an AA meeting, you're like, I didn't really drink, but I was...
It is.
On my podcast, I had Jim Gaffigan on, and he gave me his bourbon Father Time, and now I'm on the street, you know.
What made you want to make this price point what it is? Is it because you were looking for a, what is it called, a luxury brand? And if so, was that engineered that way to, hey, you know what? Here's my budget. Let's do the nicer barrels. Let's have them listen to the Metallica.
I wanted it to be. It's better if it was. Obviously, it's better if it's less expensive. But it is also. I wanted it to be of a certain quality. So, if you want it to be of a certain quality, you know there are costs involved. And again, it's not like there's like 80,000 bottles of it. So it's like we're doing small quantities.
How many batches do we have? And they're all hand selected?
This is our fourth batch. This is fourth and long. So there's been one about every kid. And
so you're going to have one more batch?
One more batch.
And then you're done? Kind of like Seinfeld with comedians in cars?
No, I don't know. I mean, some of it is I find it rewarding doing this. And, you know, as I learn, I kind of adjust what I want to do. But like improving. But yeah, it is expensive. And some of it is I never wanted to, I didn't go into it to make money, but I certainly didn't go into it to lose money. So it's like, you know what I mean, bro? Bro. Whoa. Bro, you know what I mean?
I didn't get into
I just got out of an ice bath.
Do you do an ice bath?
Right now. I mean, it was a mental ice bath.
If you could just do a mental ice bath, if you could control your mind, like I think the movie
freezing.
Salt.
What? I was just in the I was in an ice
Yeah.
bath.
If you could control your mind, like in the movie Salt or whatever the movie is, where she could use a lot of her brain. It's not Salt. It's the other one with Scarlett Johansson. Whatever it is, and like you could like do whatever. Like you could use your mind to have the metabolism do what you wanted to do, and you could release the hormones.
JoJo. Is that the movie?
I don't think so.
No. Avengers?
No. And you could do that, and you could just like have your body change the inflammation state.
Right. Do you think that like,
Wow.
What
I
happened?
really feel different having drank that.
Well, don't have any more. That's all you need is just a little bit of buzz.
Absolutely.
Right?
One drink.
Right. So do you travel with edibles? I guess you can, right? But because you do it 3 days a week.
I don't like Monday, Friday, Sunday.
Right.
I just, on average, I'll go weeks without doing it. It's
And
probably
you
less than
usually
3 times
do
a
it
week.
with friends,
But
but you won't drive, right?
I don't get. I take a lot of times. I take 2.5 milligrams. I guess you could call it a microdose or slightly above.
Yeah.
So I get high, and then sometimes I just have a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't get high that often.
Right.
I have been doing it more often on the road for the late shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll get stoned for the second show a lot of the time. Like more than half the time this run for the second show.
That's so interesting.
And I feel like I used to feel like because I love it, man.
And so does it change the show?
Yeah, probably. The way I pitch things, like if you're trying to figure out what show to come to, if you want to see the material I'm working on, come to the first show. If you want to see me play with the material I'm working on, come to the second show.
And who opens for you? Or do you just do the whole show
So
yourself?
at the moment, and I feel that opens for you is a derogatory term sometimes, so I want to just take your question and phrase it differently.
What's wrong with opens for you?
I think it defines somebody as an opener as opposed to somebody who has the time and want to. Like I'll go on stage. I would go on stage before anybody.
Yeah.
Some people I know.
Oh, the hierarchy of it.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Okay.
And I'm like, out of respect for not knowing how people feel or receive things, I'll just say, he's a friend of mine. His name's Michael Lenoci, and he's very funny. And he comes on the road with me, and he's been going up before me. I don't have a host.
But you do make him carry your bags.
No, however, he does carry my merch.
He does.
I never sold merch on the road.
Yeah, so what kind of merch do you have?
Let me get this out there
Yeah,
first.
okay.
I never sold merch on the road, and I don't really, I'm not a big enough comedian to take people with me and stuff.
Yeah.
But Michael suggested, hey, if you sell merch, it could cover the cost because you have to pay for all of his stuff.
Yeah.
He goes, I'll help with that. So I'm like, if you want to come on the road and sell the merch in exchange for me being able to fly you and put you up, that would be great. So really my merch is just to kind of mitigate those
Absolutely.
costs. I feel
Yeah.
like I get embarrassed selling merch.
No, I know what you mean. I sell posters, and it used to be babysitting money, and now it's kind of to pay for dinner afterwards. But I think also people like to, and then because I'll take my tour manager and the opening act, my friend,
Who's probably a valuable comedian, not just because he's opening.
hugely, who is total headliner, Ted Alexandro. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is Alexandro's kid.
What's that?
Mr. and Mrs. Alexandro's kid?
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Alexandro's kid.
I haven't seen you not like something I've said more than that. When I'm like, well, what do I say to that? You go, yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Alexandro's
some of
kid.
there is something of when people don't understand why was an audience hostile. When they're hostile, if they don't understand something, and I think when people don't understand something, sometimes the instinct is like, are you saying I'm dumb?
I understand. I understand that.
But when we're all in on the joke, it's good. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a very good observation that I made. It took me a long time to recognize that. Like sometimes somebody will think I'm fucking with them when I think I'm playing with them, just because we're not aligned on intention.
Yes.
And it's a big part. On my show last night, I was doing something with somebody, and he looked away for a second, and I don't know, but I said, I think I might be bullying you, and I had no idea, and I just want to say, I'm so...
I ain't no bitch. Will's the man. May I borrow this? I understand your put position. Did you know your hand was sweaty? You know what I'm reading now? I wanted to play with you, and I'm reading something. I think I might be bullying you, and that was not that my intention is what's important. I didn't know I was doing that. You're the man. You're the man. And I was playing around, and I am genuinely sorry. Fucking loser. Relax.
Because you don't want, your objective is not to make someone feel bad.
Of course not.
Fucking loser.
See,
but it's operational cost.
Well,
it's not. It is.
I think like some of it is. I remember when I was really. Like when I was growing up, I was really I enjoy watching David Letterman and Bill Murray. And both of those guys, I felt imperfectly, but often communicated, they would give someone shit, but they would be in on the joke.
The person they were giving shit to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like even Letterman was interviewing someone, and if he was kind of harassing them, it was in a way where they were aware, they knew that it wasn't malicious, and there was going to be no consequences of that. And I think Bill Murray kind of is a master at that. And so that's a very important distinction for someone being in on the joke. But if they're not in on the joke, like some people don't care, but I imagine that you're like me. You're like, you don't want that guy to feel bad. You'd rather stop the show and apologize.
There's a difference between somebody not being in on the joke and then not enjoying it the way they could had I done this better.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. That's part of, I'm trying to find some stuff. When the misunderstanding leads to me not being funny, I could handle it. When the misunderstanding leads to somebody else feeling, especially like in an audience, like put out, made fun of, put down, that is like, I'll cry if I find out that I did that.
That's because you're a baby.
It's because you're
a crybaby.
I sometimes cry, but like my eyes start to water and tears could go down my face when somebody will say something to me, and I love if somebody says this to me, like, "Hey, why did you say that?" or "That hurt." Like, I don't like that you said that, or "Please don't say
really?
that." I'll one because I'm sorry that I upset you, and I also think that there's something that.
But how do they know that those aren't tears of joy?
The tears aren't meant for anything. It's just a response.
Before the podcast started, you're like, I like pretending to cry.
I love all of these hypotheticals that you're making up, but I want to say something that's a real thing, which is, I think I also get emotional because not just that I found out that I upset somebody, but like it's a reminder sometimes of me, like, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's so important for people to say, like, I didn't like that. That embarrassed me, that I feel embarrassed, whatever it might be. So you could then calibrate, not only in your relationship with that person, but just as a performer and as the craft of understanding how people receive you.
I've always, this is something I've done my entire life, is like, as I get to know someone, I'll do an impression of them constantly. Like, I don't have an impression of you, but like, I would see this guy and I'd be like, hey, how you doing? How's it going? Da, da, da. And then, and I'd done it for like 6 years. This is like 20 years ago. And at one point he goes, that really hurts my feelings. And I was like, oh my God. I was so horrified. I was like, I thought you loved it. And he goes, no, it really makes me uncomfortable.
Great to know.
And I was like, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought that like, it was like, because he was a New Yorker guy and I was kind of doing a New Yorker, and I love New Yorkers. You know what I mean?
And I love a voice.
And he was like, that makes me uncomfortable. It feels, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I felt so bad.
So the idea of like people not wanting to say stuff because that's embarrassing, he might have felt he could have told you that years before, but he felt like it wasn't worth it because he'd be embarrassed to tell you.
I think he could say it because he probably knew or discerned that was not my intention.
Right.
And so, but on a separate note, I do think that
also, if you're listening, sorry, we have to wrap this up in a minute.
Yeah,
we'll be finished in a
right
second,
back.
but give us like 2 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be right back. No, but have you ever told a joke with the intention of getting to, like, you do a setup and there's more to the setup, but like the setup could be construed as misogyny and people embrace the misogyny. You're like, no, I'm not going there. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where the intention of your joke, the audience.
Well, that's why you have to include them first. I mean, the craft. I mean, you do it not to give away punchlines, but you do it in the how women have a more sophisticated palate.
Yes.
With whiskey, like I even noticed you gave an extra half a beat to give them the opportunity.
Oh yeah.
To do this, and by the way, I love seeing these things.
Yes.
Because I think in seeing that, I'm not only seeing you allowing people to come with you someplace, I'm also seeing the person, you, with the foresight to do this thing, somebody who has learned that he has to do this thing or wants to do this thing.
Yes.
And I'm seeing such intention in the performer.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like nerding out about that stuff, but like I like seeing the person, not just what they're doing, but like how they're doing it. And like that's something I'm seeing, this person's been doing comedy for a while.
You earn the permission. You earn the permission to
It's manipulating.
It's
not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
The manipulating is letting them indulge in the applause. But
it's not for their indulgement.
That's funny. The only reason that joke about women and whiskey is funny. If it is funny, there's me with my false humility. If it is funny, is because I have given. I've identified the credentials. I've said obviously men and women enjoy whiskey, and there have been brilliant women that have been master distillers or blenders. If I hadn't said that and I just went to the joke, it would appear pretty sexist.
Maybe. I still think because it's such a strong punchline, it wouldn't.
Okay.
But I get what you're saying, and when in doubt, put your turning signal on.
Let me tell you something that I think that you'd appreciate. One of my big beliefs is I also believe, and you, again, it's stylistically, I think you'd appreciate it. What people don't understand, or maybe they do understand this, I don't want to, it's not some brilliant insight, is that comedy very much has an aftertaste. So we all have friends that are that are gossip or maybe kind of shit on people, and it might be funny, but like there is like how you feel afterwards. You're like, you feel a little bit guilty, and so like there are comedians that can kill, but if the aftertaste of it is negativity, if you're not kind of like bringing some form of light, that the consequences is people aren't going to have a positive association with that. And so that's where like, you know, clown or people that are bringing light, that's really what people are looking for. And so when people kind of come to a show, they want to leave feeling good. They don't want to feel like they've been lectured to, but some people do want to, you know, hear someone tear someone apart. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, at the end of the day, you don't speak bad about other people because then you're speaking bad about yourself.
Right?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
I think it's so weird, you know, that, you know, she...
I don't want to talk about it. I don't know.
You know, well, everyone does know.
You know, Maya Angelou once said...
I know why the cage bird sings.
I was going to say, do you guys want to get something to eat?
She also said that.
Nobody quotes her on it.
And of course, Abraham Lincoln, he said 4 any bitches here.
What do you want me to do with that? That's Jim Gaffigan from TakeYourShoesOff.com/hyphen.
We'll be right back.
Jim, I think it's fun that we've become friends. I'm going to call us that.
Yeah.
And I've been a fan of yours for a really long time, and I was psyched that you wanted to do this podcast.
It kind of goes Kevin Nealon and then Jim Gaffigan. You know what I mean?
Kevin Nealon, I always appreciated his work.
Yeah.
I didn't know how funny he was until I met him.
Oh, he's so funny.
It's just, he's so funny and so sharp.
I mean, I remember a Kevin Nealon joke. He did this, I think, during the Clinton administration. He goes, you know,
Bill?
Yeah. He goes, you know, there's trouble in the Balkans. You know, it's like people are, and all I can think is like, you know, I've never been to Europe. You know what I mean? Like that. It's like I'm doing it.
I don't remember things, or I'm stupid.
Well, there was like a war in, you know, the former Yugoslav.
Right.
And,
he's saying,
but he turned it
visit.
on. He turned it to, geez, I'd love to go to Europe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just deadpan and kind of, you know, there's an innocence to it that was so funny.
He also does something that is one of my favorite forms of delivery of things, where even he treats jokes that otherwise don't need to be throwaways as throwaways.
Yeah.
And I think there might be a defense in that, in knowing that, like, I don't need to wait for anything. It's Family Guy. It's just, you're just throwing stuff out, and if you see it, great, and if you don't, it doesn't stop the momentum. And I think he's brilliant.
Well, he kind of embodies that American thing that of unaware of the joke being funny. You know, like Mark Twain has this how to tell a story thing that the Americans very much are unaware of the punchline, whereas the Europeans
you're saying in delivery. They're not actually unaware.
Yes.
You're just saying, right.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's the delivery of being unaware. So Kevin's very much like that.
I guess you could say that they're just horsing around.
They are just horsing around.
That's Jim Gaffigan from the Hot Pockets thing.
Why don't you tell them who's going to be tomorrow on the show? I feel like this is a little bit of a morning show.
Well, we have Bill Bellamy coming up.
Bill Bellamy.
And Sebastian Maniscalco.
And we also have some good ideas for some Thanksgiving treats. And I believe that we've also got some information on what you can do with some of those leftovers.
That's good. That's good. It's funnier to do it for real instead of to say something silly.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it depends. It's different situations.
I think if you like, see what you could do with the leftover toilet paper rolls.
Yeah.
You know, like, do you have specific things you could do? Could you tap into that? Do you know John Rutnitsky?
I'm so bad at names. Maybe
he's so funny. He's able to to do that thing where he'd be like, "That's really what it is."
Yeah.
Could you do it, or is that the best you got?
I do think the whole morning show, there's such a skill set there that it's fascinating. But
do you want to do a morning show with me sometime?
The segues that they have to accomplish. As comedians, we can appreciate the segues, but like the Today Show, they have to shift from devastating hurricane to how to decorate Halloween cookies
Yeah.
in the same 3 minutes. And they have to do it with a certain amount of charm.
Well, man, keep doing what you're doing, and one
And
day
we'll be right back. And remember, it is, I believe the set is called Live from Old Forester, the Bourbon Set.
we are going to be having the link in the description. When we mention it the first time, there will be a thumbnail that comes up
that's
that
great.
shows what it is with the
That's
title.
great.
People are going to find it. And if you don't like bourbon, I think more the reason to watch this show, because I never used to drink. I had a family. I was
Yeah.
happy. Then I found out about this Father Time.
I
And
mean,
not
you
only
used-
is it more expensive than I want it to be, it's
Yeah.
so smooth that I've become a bit of a drinker myself.
A terrific holiday gift.
It is a good gift. And buy it now because they are limited edition, they are hand selected, and it is ready for consumption.
And it would look good on the family bar. You hear me? By the way, in Cleveland, did you have a family bar or no? Your dad sold carpeting?
We had a cupboard that had
Yeah.
a whole bunch of alcohol in it,
Yeah.
and on the door was the ice bucket that was like floating. And I used to love sitting on the ground. I never opened them, but
Yeah.
I would pretend that I was pouring and making mixtures,
that's
like I was
interesting.
making magic potions and stuff, and use one of those long spoons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not many drinkers in our house. My dad's high. My dad's a pot guy.
Yeah. Was he smoking when you were a kid?
I didn't know he was. Once
Yeah.
my brother's friend found pot in his car, and my dad told me that was oregano, and I believed him. And then later on, because my brother's friend told me, no, it's not, he said, I didn't want to let you know, but he blamed it on his chef. It's the chef at the restaurant's weed.
So your dad has a restaurant?
When I was growing up, he had restaurants.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he got into the flooring business. But at the end of the day, I didn't know this, but my dad smoked pot every single day since, he was in college. He's just a big pot
And your
guy.
mom?
She got into drinking later in life, and she has a drink.
Drinks. So she'll have one and done.
She'll have one, and she'll let you know. She's like me with it. I'm like, I'm drunk.
Yeah, no, that is interesting. Yeah.
All right. Go to jimgaffigan.com/whiskey to find out their special. My name's Rick Glassman.
And I'm Jim Gaffigan.
And as we like to say at the end of every episode,
We love you.
and have a good night.
Be kind to yourself.
Theme music.
Whoop.